Hey everyone, welcome to Axanar Confidential, the Wednesday edition. This is the first. Hold on, this is going to be the first of 3 or 4 episodes that are going to happen on Wednesday. I'm going to unplug, and hopefully, let's just check to make sure everything's going well on the sound. Yep, there we go. All right, yeah, sounds good there, huh? So yeah, hey, welcome everybody. It's been like a month, I know, but I've been so crazy busy ever since the Trexeter auction, and then there was a big auction I bid in for things which I'll tell you about another time. And we've just been balls to the wall on Axanar. It's been crazy busy. I can't tell you how busy it is. I get up in the morning at about 7. I walk the dogs. I feed the dogs. Take care of the rabbit. We have a foster rabbit. And we have a foster dog now who you're going to meet in a little while. So I got about an hour worth of work in the chores in the morning. Like walk all the dogs, feed all the dogs, change the bunny's litter box. It's glamorous work. And anyway, so I get to work around 8:15 or so. And, this week last night I finished work at 11 at night. So it's really busy. Want to say hi to everyone who's out there. I see a lot of the what I remember of regulars. Since it's been so long. John Tesler, how you doing, my friend? And of course, Trey McElwain. It is great to see you as always, my friend. Jonathan Lane, a fan film factor. Lee Sully, Troy Light. Val, you're here. Val Eccleston Angel, we all want to send out our love to Val, who's been having some health issues, but she's under great care. She's got like the best doctors in New York taking care of her. So Val, we're wishing you the best. Dave G Sound, Old Code. It's great to see you all. Right, Sublet. It's good. Sean Thornton. Ben Stone, I've had notifications for this live streams for so long, and it's finally coming to fruition. Yes. Listen, I've been trying to get this going. I literally have not had the time to do this. You just prioritize stuff, and you're like, look, shipping out stuff from the auction or, getting Axanar ready is way more important. And we just had casting this week, and we'll tell you all about that. Val, we wish you best on your surgery. Lynn Marie Panzerino, hey, how you doing? MP Graphics, Mark Payton, our good friend. How are you, sir? So it looks like a lot of the regulars are here. So you guys are going to get a treat. And everyone else, I guess everyone will be watching it on delay. There's so much to tell you. We just recorded an Axanar update today, little video update with Paul Jenkins. We were all on the bridge today, and there's a big and it's a let me tell you, it's a crew, right? We've got a bunch of us there. So let me get this. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this and put that there. I've got to upload the video for the update to Paul. Maybe I'll share some photos with you guys too. So you can see what's going on. There's so much good stuff happening, and I neglected. If you're a Patreon, you've been seeing some of the stuff that we've been trying to get to you guys as soon as possible. That's where I try and put things up first there. I had a script session with Paul the other day at his house. And that went well. We just went over the script and we talked about things. We're right about to lock the script. And lock means, it's going to change. The dialogue's going to change, but you're not adding anything. You're not adding scenes or characters or sets. That's what locking the script means. And that's from Dave Demerit, who is one of our producers in California. He worked on Star Trek Enterprise and Star Trek Voyager. It was great having Dave because he was such a pro. And especially in California where we had a couple, shall we say, know-it-alls running around. To have steady hands, I can't tell you how important that was. Having Dave Demerit, who had been assistant director on 14 seasons of Star Trek, 11 seasons of Star Trek, 4 Enterprise, 7 in Voyager. the guy was an old hand. He planned out everything, and he was no bullshit. Believe me, we'd have Dave back if we were shooting in L.A. And we might in the L.A. shoots. John Yacovelli, our production designer. These are guys that were industry guys, right? And they were working on Axanar. So it wasn't guys who, oh, well, I did a film once. It was guys like, they're working constantly in the industry. And that level of professionalism, that level of expertise, for an amateur like me, it was invaluable. And I wish more of the so-called industry people had paid attention to them. We've got something really special for you at the end. Okay, so that's all good. I got a couple special guest stars for you guys. And let's see. Let me just make sure this is all set up for Dana. I'm just gonna let's do this so you all can get so we can share this all with you. Where is that? That's there. That's there. Okay, I think we're. Oh, where'd my video go? Gotta get you guys. I gotta get the video here. All right, I'm not seeing it, so let me. But anyway, okay. So the big news is, of course, casting. So casting was the big news because basically we had to cast. I think it was 8 roles that we cast, plus background players and stuff, and so it was really interesting. We've got some amazing Star Trek fans who are going to be working in Axanar. I will say that almost every position, someone nailed it. And it was fun. The guy who's playing Leonov, I talked to Leonov, the engineer. By the way, the character thing is, maybe we'll put this back in, maybe we'll put this in the comments here. But we reposted, if you go to our website, and I'm going to go to the website right now and send you guys a link. We posted the character synopsis. It's like little bits on each of the characters that's in Axanar, which you'll see both in the coming 2 episodes as well as the full length feature movie. So I put this back on, and also let me send you guys a link. It's if you go to the homepage of the website. If you go to the About Axanar section, there's a pull-down menu, and if you go to the characters, we just reposted that after I had edited it a little bit, and we got it back up. Here, let me give it to you guys right now. I'm going to post it here. There you go. If you go there, you can follow about some of the characters. Let's see. I'm just going to read back some of your comments, guys. It looks like old home week. Everyone's getting back in touch with everyone else. So the character is Alexei Leonov. He is the engineer, and man, the first guy up, bam, nailed it. I mean, nailed it like a pro. And he's a Star Trek fan. He's just a huge fan. Like a lot of Star Trek fans acted before, but this guy he nailed the accent. We had to pull him back. His accent was so good. But excited. Talked to him about Star Trek last night. We were just talking about favorite shows and how long we've been fans and blah, blah, blah. He's totally excited. And I told him, I said, dude, you didn't even read the good stuff. I said, wait till you get to the full-length script. I said, Leonov kicks ass. He's got like the best lines in the script. So anyway, casting. So, we had a guy play Robert April, who's, again, big Star Trek fan, played Robert April in another fan film that is not out yet. And we're totally excited about him. Same guy. I had given him the part, but we asked him to come in and audition for Paul, our director. And, of course, he came in, and bam, and Paul was like, yeah, that's the guy. So there were some other, there were other roles as well. I had my idea about DeVille, who used to be Cross. We changed the name to DeVille to make him somewhat European. And that was the suggestion of Claude Dozier, our costume consultant over in Italy. He's like, you don't have anyone, European. I was like, You're right. So let's change this character's name and give him he's European, and we'll see if, does he have an accent or not? I don't know, I'd love him to have a European accent, but who knows? We'll see if he can do an accent. If he can't, he's still European, right? As long as he's not talking like he's from Brooklyn. So that's all good. Tanaka, wow. Nailed it. The guy we got is amazing. Truly amazing, right? You guys are going to just blow a gasket when you see this guy. And he did he hit it for me visually. He's got a martial arts background. He is, now, he's not Japanese. He's Chinese. And I said to him, I said, all right, look, I said, I know, everyone's sensitive about stuff. I don't want to step on any toes. How do you feel about playing Japanese? And he was like, I've done it a gazillion times. So I said, okay, that's cool. I've as I've told you many times, I wrote the part of Tanaka for Hiroyuki Tagawa, the great actor who was most recently, he was the bad guy in Mortal Kombat. He was Eddie in Rising Sun, which was just his best role ever. Oh, he was so good in that. And he was in, and most recently, he's in the fantastic series, The Man in the High Castle. He's trade minister. And, but, just couldn't get a hold. And we actually had contacts with him, and we just couldn't get a hold of him. Would have loved to have cast him because that's who I wrote the role for. But what are you going to do? We have we are awesome. We're in such good shape. Let me read some of your comments here. Karn is listed, but if Richard is gone, am I to assume that he's only mentioned? Aha. We're not going to tell you. But we have something really, really cool planned for Richard and Karn. Yes, filming starts in 2 weeks from tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. tomorrow morning is 2 weeks. So, let me just reply. Yeah, listen, we had one guy came in to the casting session, and literally we had no role for him. I saw him. I saw a photo of him came across my desk, and I showed it to Paul. I said, Paul, we're bringing this guy in to read. I don't know if this guy can act, but man, he looks great. And Paul's like, yeah, bring him in. And we bring him in, and he's got this really like Middle Eastern, Indian look to him, right? And his name was Raj, so obviously Indian. It looked like a Sikh, right? And so he came in, and it was kind of funny because he comes in to the audition, and he comes over to me and just starts fanboying on me. And I mean, like I would fanboy, like I fanboyed on Stan Lee. I mean, it's just like we're adults and we're like, oh my God, I love what you do, right? And he was really nice, and he was very gracious, and he was a sweet, sweet guy. Star Trek fan, of course. And I said, okay, and we talked, Paul and I talked, and we said, let's see if this guy can do an Indian accent, right? He's Indian, but he sounded like me. And so we told him what we wanted. He said, yep, I can do that. And he got right into it, and it was awesome, and his work was amazing. And we were like, okay, pull back the accent a little bit and do that. Paul's really good about redirects during auditions, right? And let me just see. Okay. I'll get into the shoots. Yes, thank you very much. Trey, I hope you're feeling better. Trey and his wife were under the weather, so let's wish them, along with Lynn. We got a lot of fans under the weather. So, So anyway, Raj finished, and he was actually reading. He was reading another part that just clearly wasn't right for him. First, it was too young, right? But it was all we had. So he was reading this part, and I said, and I went over to the. I went over to Brianna, who was our assistant for the auditions, and I grabbed her script, and I got out a page. Oh, excuse me. I got out a page. That's why I'm drinking coffee.
pumpkin spice coffee. Crystal made for me. So I went over to the script. I pulled out a page, and there was a line from Travis and a line from one of the captains. And I gave it to Raj. I said, Raj, this is a cold read. I gave him the page, and I said, here, read this. I said, run through a couple times on your own. Just read it, and then you're going to do it. And I don't care if you look at the page. I want you to do a part befitting where we think we would cast you. So he read through these lines that were the admiral and one of the captains and nailed it. It was great. And I was like, okay, that's good. And I turned to Paul as Raj was leaving. I said, we're writing lines for that guy. He's going to be a captain. We're adding a captain to the mix. So we've got, we added people. And plus, then we have to cast the bridge crew for the Ares and the bridge crew for the Hercules. And so there was a lot of people we had to cast. And listen, my apologies to all Axanar fans. I know everyone wants to be on the bridge and this and that, but you can't all be on the bridge. Okay, first of all, a lot of people pay for that privilege, and so we have to honor those people who did. And second of all, Starfleet is young, not old, and fit and trim. Right? I mean, I've lost 15 pounds to get back in shape to play Garth again. There's I had one super nice guy fan. I met him. He's an awesome guy. And he was like, oh, I wanted to audition. I was like, hey, I have no part for you. I said, I'm sorry, but I don't have a part for you. He's a 50-year-old bald guy. All right. Well, there were no, if you're not a captain, you're not on a crew. Right? Everyone else is in their 20s and 30s on a starship. The captains are the old guys like me. And I feel bad about that because we'd all like to do something. But so anyway, over time, there's going to be more and more roles for more and more fans. So there's always going to be possibilities, as Spock would say. Okay, let's see what you're saying. So, Alec, have you darkened your hair yet? Yeah, so it's darker than it was last time. I mean, last time I was on the air, it was like practically all gray, right before DragonCon. Right? It was before DragonCon. And it was really great because I hadn't colored it in like 2 months. And so, I use the coloring that leaves the gray in the temples, and it doesn't darken it too much. And so we're working on that. I'm going back to Prelude, saying how dark was my hair in Prelude, and we got to match that. And then what are we going to do about the earlier, when Garth was on the bridge? So things are happening. Oh, Lee Sully, $20 super chat. You were the man, Lee. We love you. I just wish I could be there for the shoots. Listen, we wish you could be too. If you're anyone who's interested in volunteering from this group, you can come and volunteer for us. Darren Means, how are you, my friend? Darren, one of our video editors, he's coming out. He's going to be on the live stream team along with Stogie and JP Poole and Crystal. So thank you, Darren. We're looking forward to having you out here. Troy Light, behind the scenes is better. You don't have to worry about flubbing lines and effort. Yeah. Scott Voigt is our transportation coordinator, just so you guys know. Scott, we're working. We've already got one great driver for you, and a lot of people who have cars are going to be transporting for you. We also, interestingly enough, so here's big news. This episode's so the building next to us, literally adjacent to us, we share a wall with, is another 6,000 square feet, like our studio, and that was Prince Telecom, and they had just started paying us $500 a month to use our parking. They did that for 1 month, and then they decided to move. So that sucked because that's $500 more a month we got to raise. But anyway, they moved. The good news is their building is empty. So 2 days ago, I went to our landlady, Lee, and I said, Lee, I noticed it's empty. Can we use it on this weekend? And she said, sure, go for it. I was like, we'll pay for it. She goes, no, take it. I love Lee. She's awesome. She's part of the Lawrenceville Redevelopment Commission, and so much. There's billions of dollars of development going on in Lawrenceville. It's crazy. So anyway, we now have another 6,000 square feet to shoot in on our shoot weekend, and that is just amazing. That means we can set up the behind the scenes, we can set up the formal interviews on green screen, catering. We got changing rooms, we got wardrobe rooms, we got 2 extra bathrooms. It's awesome. Saved us a few $1,000s, makes our lives so much easier. So we're really excited about crew. We're really excited about all the different stuff we're doing. It's really, really good. And Darren, talk to Scott. Scott, you need to talk to Darren. You need to, start collecting everyone's itineraries. All right. Darren's flying in, Stogie's flying in, JP Fool's flying in. All those guys, you need all their itineraries. Hey, Michael Weir, how are you doing? Mac Rush, good evening from U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command. Really, Mac? Wow. Well, that's awesome, dude. That you need to tell us more about that. That is something we want to hear about. Can you talk about it? If you can, Mac, you need to come on literally next week, maybe, or after we shoot. You need to come on and tell us about that. That is amazing, Mac. So we really want to hear from you. So let's see. 46 people watching, over only 33 thumbs up. A couple of you need to give us a thumbs up on this. Claude's not here, is he? Claude, you are here. Well, Claude, why are you still awake? Because right now it is, what is it? It is 3:23 in the morning, Claude. Why are you doing up so early? Just got up to take a flight this morning to go to Paris. I must drive to Rome. Oh my God, Claude. God bless you. And by the way, I will have photos for you. What we talked about earlier, I will have photos for you. It is going to be released on YouTube. That's where it's going to be released. And Michael Weir's Department of Homeland Security. So, I wish I had Paul Osborne here. He's Department of Homeland Security too. Thank you, DJ MX. Listen, people, a couple quick things. The shoots. This is the first of 4 shoots that will comprise what we make up for the next 2 episodes of the 4 Years' War. Remember, Prelude to Axanar is the subtitle of episode 3 of the 4 Years' War documentary. This is episodes 4 and 5. Okay, that's what we're shooting. Now you may ask, what are the titles of episodes 4 and 5? Well, I can tell you this, and I'm not sure I told you guys yet, but I will tell you now. Episode 4 is entitled The Gathering Storm. And that is an homage to Winston Churchill's book about World War II. He had an epic multi-volume series, and one volume was called The Gathering Storm. So this is kind of an homage to Winston Churchill, right, who basically brought the UK, brought Britain through World War II. If you haven't seen the Gary Oldman movie about Churchill, which was Darkest Hour, I think it's called Darkest Hour. It's amazing. Gary Oldman's amazing. He's one of my favorite. He's probably my favorite living actor. I think he's just fantastic. And he was totally miscast in Hunter Killer. That was not a role for Gary Oldman. Gary, choose your roles better. But Gary Oldman's amazing. I think he's the greatest living actor right now. He's my favorite. I mean, he is De Niro, Pacino. He is that caliber of actor, right? So, Darkest Hour, go watch it. Let's see, what do we got here? Mike Rush says Whopper is in the works. But yeah, Whopper can hold a candle to Colossus. So if you remember Colossus, the Forbin Project, one of my favorite movies of all time. So he owns it. Although I liked Hunter Killer, it was a fun movie, right? It was fun entertainment, right? So that was interesting. Gary Oldman was the best Commissioner Gordon, right? He was killer. Michael Weir, $20 super chat. Thank you, sir. Listen, we're sorry you're going to miss the shoot too, Michael. We will see you soon. We're up to 50 people. Let's got to start building the audience again. Pumpkin spice coffee. So, all right. So there's 4 shoots. Atlanta, and all the human characters we're shooting here in Atlanta. Actually 5 now. We just changed it. We just added a shoot. Then we're going out. So the second Atlanta shoot is I have so many lines as Garth in this, and just the way timing was happening and trying to get, we've increased the amount of work we want on the bridge. And I said to Paul the other day, I said, Paul, I said, here's something to consider. We take me out of this weekend's shooting. I'll still be shooting on the bridge, but I wouldn't do my interview. I said, I have 42 lines. I have more than twice as many lines as the next actor. That's JG, I think. I said, let's take me out and we could put me on another weekend. Let's just do it 3 weeks from now, a month from now. It'll be just me on green screen. We do it at the studio. Take like 7 people to do it. Cost me a couple $1,000s. I said, but that serves a lot of purposes. It gives us more time on the bridge because we don't have to. You will add like 4 hours of shoot time. I said it allows me to focus more on producing, and on the bridge stuff. I said it makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to memorize all those lines so fast because I've just been so busy with it. I said I'm flying and by the way, I'm flying to Canada tomorrow morning for 4 days. So I said, and he was like, that's a great idea. Let's do it. I said, oh, okay. He's like, I'll check with the producers. And they all talked. And they were like, let's do this. Let's take Alec out of the shoot. Let's put him. So I'll shoot on Friday, but I won't shoot on Saturday as I was planning to. And then 3 weeks from now, we'll shoot. And it'll give me a lot more time. Plus, it gives me more time to get back in shape. I've lost 15 pounds, but I'm still, right now, I am 5 pounds from where I was at Prelude. Which I'll get in the next 2 weeks, but I might as well be in the best shape possible. So let's see what we got. Do I have a title for episode 5? No, we don't. We don't have a title for episode 5. Adega Outlaw, $1.99. Super chat, thank you, sir. This is being documented, correct? Yes. Everything is being documented. So yes, we need a title for episode 5. And that, honestly, a year ago, it was called Endgame. Well, that ain't going to work anymore, is it? Avengers kind of stole that. I mean, after I was like, oh, it's far enough away from the Highlander that we can get away with it, but not anymore. So we need a, we have been struggling with a title for episode 5. So yeah, I'll take suggestions. If you guys have suggestions, shoot them. Alec, does the term workaholic mean anything to you? Dude, I am a workaholic. Everyone knows I am. There's just so much to do. And, Jonathan, maybe we'll shoot right before you shoot. Sean Thornton says, I read where Churchill's parrot was still alive a couple years ago. They had him in a bird rescue, and the bird still cusses Hitler. He was in a pet store, but the owner did not want a cussing parrot. That's hysterical. No, the final plan doesn't work. Yeah, we need to... Endgame, right? That's Voyager Endgame, last episode. Highlander Endgame, last movie. Sadly not the last movie. There was Highlander, whatever the hell it was. By the way, I'm a Highlander fan, huge Highlander fan. I wanted to get Adrian Paul to be captain. And I love Endgame. I really like Highlander Endgame. I just thought that was a fucking brilliant movie. Listen, it's not high art, right? But it's Highlander, and I thought they did a great job. The villain was amazing, right? I love that Duncan had to take Connor's head. Spoiler alert, it's a 20-year-old movie. Go watch it. I love the female lead. I love the way they wrapped it up at the end. I thought Adrian was really good in Endgame. I'm just reading your comments. Adrian Paul is a good replacement for Chris. Chris who? I'm a fan. And the original Highlander movie is a classic, right? Here's the other connection between... Does anyone know the other connection between Axanar and the Highlander? There's a direct connection between Axanar and the Highlander. Does anyone know? Let me have a sip of coffee while you guys try and figure it out. Do. I can't drink and do the theme, Jeopardy theme at the same time. So I'll let you stew on that for a little while. What is the connection between Axanar and Highlander, which is a great movie, and Sean Connery was great in it, and what's his name, Connor McLeod, who's the actor again? Yes, Troy Light gets it. Ding, 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 ding. Ramirez. Yes, Admiral Ramirez in Prelude is named after Ramirez, Sean Connery's character in Highlander. That's where the name came from. I love that character. I thought it was. And can you tell me the entire name of? I can't remember that, but I loved his character, and I said that's our Admiral Ramirez. And then Marcus Ramirez, his name Marcus was taken from Marcus Antares from the Red Star, which Christian Gossett had. Even though Christian Gossett has turned out to be a flaming, I won't even say it. He's a great artist, and he had a great book in Red Star. And unlike him and Rob, I acknowledge people when they do things right. And Christian did a great job. Red Star is brilliant. It's still one of my favorite graphic novels of all time. Christopher Lambert, yeah. By the way, have you guys seen what's the Coen brothers? Hail Caesar. Christopher Lambert is in Hail Caesar. And that is one that's been doing the circuit on HBO. And Crystal and I love that movie. It is the quintessential Hollywood movie. It really is. I know, Tarantino has his Hollywood movie, but Hail Caesar is everything I want in a classic Hollywood story. It's a period piece. It's all about the studio system. It literally recreates all these different genres of movie. And they wouldn't have to do that. It's almost like the recreations, they fill out the story. They don't propel the story. They're totally unnecessary. But they're done so well. So the movie is a montage. It is a loving love letter to the Hollywood, to the golden age of Hollywood. It's Coen Brothers, so the writing is fantastic. And they just do stuff in that movie. Of course, Robert Picardo plays the Jewish rabbi, which he's awesome at. Picardo nails the Jewish rabbi. It's great. And they've got another guy who does the Catholic priest, which is hysterical. And another guy does a Protestant priest. It's just so free, and it's just great. That movie is great. Everyone is in that movie, right? Hey, Mark Lawrence, I saw your message today. I got your message. Let me just get... So everyone go watch Hail Caesar. That's your homework. Go watch Hail Caesar before next week, okay? So Hail Caesar is great. You've got Josh Brolin is the lead. You got George Clooney. You got Scarlett Johansson. You got Swinda Tilton, right? Is that right? Who else? The guy who plays the young Han Solo is in it. You got Channing Tatum is in it. Christopher Lambert, the guy who played Voldemort, whose name we keep forgetting, who has Ray Fiennes is in it. It's the cast is spectacular, right? And it's anyway. Go see Hail Caesar. So what else do we? Tilda Swinton, right? Tilda Swinton, I think that's it. Yeah, who was the ancient one in Doctor Strange, right? So all good stuff. So you can tell I'm a movie geek and I love this stuff. BSG is being rebooted. It's like, why the hell? Okay. So here are the two reboots we heard of this week, both of which are full of shit. And I'm going to tell you they're full of shit. One, NBC wants to do more Battlestar Galactica. Okay, I'm going to tell you you're idiots. And I'm telling you why you're idiots. Because Battlestar Galactica is the greatest science fiction TV show of all time. I know we're Star Trek fans. Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek of all, my favorite sci-fi show of all time. I'll be honest, it's my favorite. Followed closely by Battlestar Galactica. I'm sorry, by Babylon 5. Those are my two favorite sci-fi shows of all time. Battlestar Galactica is the greatest sci-fi show of all time. And I'm sorry, you can't argue that. You can argue it all you want. Go argue it with yourself in the bathroom. Because Battlestar Galactica is without peer in science fiction. It was amazing what that show literally broke so many different grounds. It was amazing. And it holds up. And it is important, and it is relevant, and it is prescient, and it is literally perfection in science fiction, right? It is just great. $5 super chat from MP Graphics, Mark Payton. Episode 5, The Crucible. That's interesting. That's not bad. That's not bad, Mark. Not bad. Let's see what. So Battlestar Galactica. So yeah, I love Babylon 5. It's not perfect. It's great. It's not perfect. And it is great science fiction. I'll give you that. And I love Star Trek in all its forms. All of it. I love all of Star Trek, right? I even love the movies. Discovery, I like Discovery. Yeah, as you people know. But let me tell you, Battlestar Galactica is perfection. It is the greatest science fiction show of all time. So why would you remake it? Why would you try and remake Battlestar Galactica? Okay? That's like remaking Casablanca. What idiot would remake Casablanca? Right? What idiot's going to remake Gone with the Wind? I know they came out with a sequel, but you don't remake perfection. The greatest of the great. You don't touch it. Right? And what else are they going to do? This week we heard they're going to remake The Princess Bride. Are you freaking kidding me? What idiot in Hollywood decided to remake The Princess Bride? Seriously, guys. What moron needs his ass kicked in Hollywood? Because you are a fucking moron. The Princess Bride, one of the greatest movies of all time. Talk about cinematic perfection. Tell me what about that movie could be better. I mean, the casting is brilliant. The gags are awesome. I mean, that movie is amazing. It is one of those movies that you watch over and over. Like, don't tell me you're going to remake The Shawshank Redemption next. It boggles my mind. Inconceivable. It is. It is inconceivable that some moron in Hollywood thinks that's a good idea. Let's see, what else we got? All right. Yes, and yes, Battlestar Galactica 2003 was a remake of the original, but let's face it, the original's bad 80s sci-fi. Love Battlestar Galactica. Richard was one of my dearest friends, okay? And I have a soft spot in my heart for Battlestar Galactica, the original, right? I love that show. I grew up on that show. It was on when I was a freshman in college. I remember specifically watching episodes because of shit that happened in college, and I ran out of my room and ran to the radio station where I worked and ran and watched it on TV and stuff. Listen, I love the original Battlestar, but it's bad 80s sci-fi, and I'm sorry, it is. It's classic, but it's bad 80s sci-fi. Just kind of like the first 2 seasons of Next Generation. So anyway, so you can't remake Ron D. Moore's 2003 Battlestar Galactica, and you're not remaking Princess Bride. You're going to remake it. It's going to be a disaster, and people are going to laugh at you, and your career is going to be ruined. Whoever is the moron who thought that was a good idea. Okay, now we know what we haven't had today in the comeback. We haven't had any puppy time, have we? So let's have a little puppy time. Get over here, Crystal. So here's a little puppy time. This is Mojo. Well, thank you, Mojo. This is Mojo. Mojo, here, look at the camera, Mojo. This is Mojo. Mojo is a rescue. We were asked to foster Mojo. His name was Jabo when we got him because he was found at the Jabo steel plant down in southern Georgia. It's kind of mid-south. I had to drive 3.5 hours to get him, and we were asked to foster him for a few weeks. And I'm very happy to say that Shane Freud, one of our Axanar donors, is adopting Mojo. And Mojo is just the best dog in the world. I just love this guy. He is so much fun. Every morning he sits down and while I'm working and all the other dogs are sleeping, And look at how big his paws are. I mean, look at these paws. They're huge. Huge, huge. You want to get up on it. Oh, look at. Put him up here so he can. Yeah. There you go. You can see he is just such. Oh, he's such a cutie. He's a German Shepherd mix. Oh. And we love him to death, and he loves us, right? You're a good boy. He pooped right in front of this desk earlier today, so we weren't exactly happy. But he is a great dog, and he's getting trained, and he's sweet as can be. So, and say hi to Crystal. Hi, Crystal. So anyway, Crystal said she'd bring Mojo down for a little. What's up with you? So that's your puppy time, since Axanar is all about dog rescue, and you should be too. But we're real excited that this is the third of four dogs that our friends have adopted. Stogie got Dreamy, and our friends in town, Kyla and Julian, got Caramel, and now Shane is going to be getting Mojo. Mojo, he's a love bug. He really is. He's so much fun. And so he's a pain in the ass too, aren't you? But he's the. I hope you can see how cute he is. Just so cute. You're so cute. But he's going to get big, so we really can't have big dogs, and our dogs are just not fans of other dogs. So, all right, buddy. Thank you. So there you go. There's your puppy time for today. Everyone says hi, Crystal, Oko, John Tesla. Everyone says hi.
Hi, guys.
Darren Mean says we only do rescues. God bless you, Darren. Troy Lightsdog is a rescue. Yeah, puppy cam. Yeah, it was the puppy cam. Yeah, remaking The Day the Earth Stood Still. That was a bad choice, right? Yes, it was. I never saw the remake of True Grit. Sean Thornton says the worst was the remake of True Grit. So I really can't talk about that one, right? The original's pretty classic. I could see it being remade. And Jeff Bridges, was he not fantastic? So, Dave G. Sound, $20 super chat. Thank you, sir. This should pay for the rest of production, right? Use it for coffee, dogs, bunnies, whatever you want. You earned it. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Lee Sully, $2 super chat. Saying something in Klingon. Oh, today is a good day to die. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Yeah, Day of the Earth Stood Still. That was a shitty movie. It was one of Keanu's worst too, right? It was just like, why do you remake this, Keanu? And I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan, just because he's also like the most decent if I say so, human being. He's just awesome. Tell me if you get who that character impersonation was. So I was a little disappointed. Right. So $10 super chat, £10 sterling super chat from that English gent. From what I've heard of BSG reboot is that it's meant to be a spin-off arc within Ron Moore's remake universe, whether it's a prequel or something else we don't know. Okay, that's cool. That would be cool. And listen, I liked Razor. I liked the prequel take on it. That was cool. I liked Blood and Chrome. Originally had the girl who was the lead in Blood and Chrome as Corax in Axanar, but we couldn't do that after the lawsuit. Listen, if they do something like that, I'm really interested. It'd be interesting to see what they do. We'll see. What else? Everyone that was on the submarine I was on were big John Wayne fans. Hey, Sean, what submarine were you on? That's it. I'd love to hear that. I like Caprica. We're talking about science fiction here. Listen, I like Caprica. I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting. I was looking forward to season 2. The coffee is cold. All right. So here's what you all need to do. We're going to be live streaming from the shoot. Okay, all weekend we're going to be live streaming at the Axanar Shoot. and I need you all to be promoting the hell out of it. I need you sharing it on your Facebook feeds. I need you sharing it on Twitter, on websites, on on Star Trek groups. We're gonna live stream all weekend, and we need everyone to know about it. That is really, really critical. So as we're getting closer and we start advertising, I'm going to be asking you guys, our loyal fans, share. That's really important, okay? That English gent says, I really like Blood and Chrome, but wish they'd have more Galactica kicking ass with all those extra boom guns. Yes, The Expanse is pretty good. I need to catch up on it. I need to go back and watch it. I think I watched through season 2, and then didn't see anything after that. So yeah. So what else? So what are we getting? What are we shooting in 2 weeks? Okay, so we're shooting. I think it's 8 characters. Let me look real quick at let me look at the cast list, and I'll tell you. How's that? Oh, by the way, let's see if there's the movie. The movie is downloaded, so that's good. So I can upload the movie to the Google Drive, where Dana will then take it and let's see, it's not on there yet, is it? No, it's not. There we go. Okay, so it's uploading. Let me go to the cast list here, and I'll tell you how many people we have shooting. So we have. And here's what we've got. We've got the interviews, just like we did with Prelude to Axanar, and then we have the flashbacks. Now, we only did, a couple flashbacks. And I guess Kate was the only real flashback we did. Plus the Ramirez speech is a flashback, right? This time, a lot more flashbacks. Now, the interesting thing about the flashbacks, and let me see, is this... why is it not pulling up? Is it open already? This time we have Korax, Kessel, April, DeVille, Tanaka, Leonov. So 8. We have 8 interviews that are being shot, right? So there's that. And then we've got the Ares bridge, and we got the Hercules bridge, right? So that's what we got, and that's what we have to. That's what we got to work around. We need costumes for all those people, and but Paul's already figuring out how to shoot the bridges. How do you shoot the bridges a little different? The Hercules from the Ares. I kind of read it. My take was, look, they're the same ship they're identical, right? And Paul's point was like, well, I want a visual differentiator between the two ships. And we went back and forth. I told him my take, and, he wanted, well, what if we do this? And I was like, I can't do that. Well, what if we do, and we're like, okay, well, what? And I was like, well, what if we do this? He's like, can we totally change this? And I was like, you can't totally change it, but we could add. So it's a great process between Paul and I. Paul is worried about how we shoot. I'm worried about staying true to canon, staying true to the universe, staying true to Star Trek, right? And it works great, because what we do is we figure out, here's the middle ground. Here's me, here's Paul, boom, figure out the middle ground. And it works great. So we get the best of both worlds. So very excited about that. Very excited. Let's see here. Back here. Lore Reloaded, Michael Weir is awesome. They did a couple things about us already. Excuse me. Yeah, Dig Outlaw. I bet there's going to be a lot of crying trolls when the filming goes live. There are a lot of crying trolls now. They're all arguing with each other, as the end is near for them. As they've always said, well, there's never going to be an Axanar. Alec's a crook. Yeah. Okay. So we ignore them generally. So the other shoots are 2 here, 1 in LA, probably January. maybe January, February timeframe. And then one day, so there's 2 days indoors in a green screen in LA and 1 day on location in LA. And then we come back here and we do another weekend of shooting on the bridge. Oh, the doorbell. My special guest. We will, let's see, do I have see if I have I need another chair. We'll pull up this stool and that'll be good. So there you go. There's the shooting. So we kind of got 2 more shoots in in Atlanta after this, and 2 more shoots in LA after this. And all together, that's all going to come together, and we're going to have some Axanar. You're going to get a trailer or 2, probably 2 trailers in the spring, one right after this. And then, and lots of goodness as we get closer. Troy's dog wants to take him out for a walk. Listen, when our dogs, that's our dogs going off. When our dogs hear a doorbell on TV, they go nuts. And you're like, that's not a real doorbell. Chill out. Those are our barking dogs. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we have a special guest who I'm thrusting into the light. Why don't you grab this chair over here?
It's gonna be awkward.
I know it's good. We'll raise. We don't have anything else for her to sit on.
I'm short.
Yeah, come on over here.
Let's see if I can.
This is Carrie Ann. Carrie Ann was. Let's see. You gotta come closer to me.
Okay.
There you go.
We're gonna work it out.
Yeah, we'll work it out. Because I'm tall and you're short, and so
There we
you're
go.
high. There we
Okay.
go. Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Okay, I
Can
gotta
you
stay
lean
over here. Yeah.
There you go.
It's like looking in a mirror. You're like,
That's weird.
So this is Carrie Ann, and she is a Star Trek fan and an actress, and she is going to be portraying Corax in Axanar. And this is your first view. These are our loyal fans.
hi.
We're a little, we've been off for about a month since before Dragon Con. So this is our first show back, and we're a little like, we only got 53 watching. We're usually up in the 100, right around 100. Anyway, guys, so these are all of our regulars are here, and Carrie Ann was one of, I guess we had about 4 or 5 young ladies try out for the role of Corax, and we had 3 callbacks, and I was pretty set on Carrie Ann after, of the 3 callbacks. It was, I think it was the hardest role to cast. I think all the other roles were pretty easy to cast. Mostly because we got great people, like I told you about Leonov or Rob, who's playing April, or I mean, we got guys who I'd seen before, or were Star Trek fans that I knew, or whatever, that nailed the parts. And so Corax is a lot more difficult because Corax is an alien in human form, so she's a shapeshifter, and
Like me in real life.
right. She didn't look like this at the audition. So Carrie Ann came in, and we did. So what was it? What were Tuesday was the callbacks.
Friday was the
Friday.
audition. Yeah.
Friday. So we did Friday, and then we did Tuesday. And so what you do is, if you see someone like some of the people we didn't need to have callback, but the Corax role was really difficult, and we had some pretty good people for that. So what you do is you call them, you say, we'd like to see you again. So in the meantime, we were talking about, there were 3 main young ladies that we saw for this role, and Paul and I talked about them, and Carrie Ann was in the lead, and it's also a role that's very, obviously I wrote the role, so it's and you haven't read the full script yet, but you will.
Right, I'm excited.
And so that'll help inform your performance. Yeah. So you're going to learn all sorts of things about her. But because especially the lines that Carrie Ann was reading in the audition were somewhat technical, let's just say. And so, but they weren't really character development lines, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And she's talking about...
A little. Like that last one. I don't know what I can say. That last...
Yeah, you can say.
Well, that last line about, strategy and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more... It's a little easier. You can feel her personality in there a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, so it's but when we get into the full script, then you find out about her relationship with Garth and her relationship with the crew,
Right.
and and the fact that it's a secret that no one knows that she's a shapeshifter. So, and then
So for now, all of you know.
yeah, and we've talked, since we've been going on for 5 years now. This enough people know about the character and such. So, so tell us, preparing for this role, preparing for the audition. Now, the other cool thing is Carrie Ann and I share the same acting coach. We've both worked with Ted Brunetti, who is
Wonderful.
we love Ted.
We love you, Ted.
Ted is if you're watching Ted, we love you. You are the man. Ted, we did you take his class in L.A.?
In here actually.
Oh, here in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Because I remember he would come and visit.
Yeah.
Like Howard Fine comes and visits too.
Crystal
And
Carson as well, who's
How
another
about
one of my
David Corey?
coaches.
Have you ever worked with David Corey?
No.
David, yeah, he's the singing coach.
Oh, gotcha.
David Corey was Howard's friend. They were both acting coaches, and David Corey literally won the lottery. And so that's how he and Howard came out to L.A.
Wow.
was off of David Corey's. I know.
That's amazing.
So that's where I met Ted. But Ted is also a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
He's a huge Star Trek fan. So it was so funny when I was taking his class, and I don't think he really knew about what I had done. And I gave him a Blu-ray, and he came back the next class. I was like, "So did you watch it?" Because in any class I've taken in LA,
Sure.
I'm like the worst guy in the class because everyone else is trying to be a professional actor. I'm like, I'm just taking this because I got this film I got to do. And I love it. And I study, but I'm not like, and so I'm all scared that Ted's, I never even gave Howard a Blu-ray because I just, you feel so
Right,
we're all self-conscious,
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
As Howard Fine always said, no one ever became an actor because they got too much attention as a kid, right? So anyway, I showed it to Ted, and Ted was effusive in praise. He was just over the moon how much he loved it. So we love Ted, and hopefully, if Ted is done on Broadway, because he went to work with Robert De Niro in A Bronx Tale.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. So hopefully he's done, and because I so want to put him in Axanar.
Oh,
because
yeah.
He'd just be. We'll write something for him. So, but anyway, okay. Enough about Ted. Let's talk about you. So, tell us how you prepared. Did you watch Prelude before
I did.
you? Okay.
Yeah, I definitely did. Because I feel like any good actor, does their homework. And I wanted to see what you guys had done. I've known Paul for a number of years, and he just.
Oh, that's right. You know Paul Jenkins, our director.
Yeah. Paul and I have been friends for a while, and he just messaged me and said, "Hey, give me a call. I got this thing." He knows that I'm a big fantasy fan, so that's where my big nerddom comes
Right,
in.
because you played like a fairy. in something.
Yeah. And
Because he kept telling me about you, and it was funny because. When I was looking for actors, I was like, you pull off, she's got a look, and you were the one of the ones I said, well, she's got a look, and then he said, oh, I know Carrie Ann,
yeah,
and then he started telling me about you.
Yeah, and so Paul knows how infused I am with all the fantasy stuff. So like the minute you say shapeshifter, I totally get it, right? And I'm talking about this sense of otherness, right? Which is also something that is
Paul was big on that.
Yeah, which is really kind of inherent to me. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I understand it. So I understood her, as when he was there, she's a shapeshifter, she's a spy, all this kind of stuff. Like that stuff made sense to me.
Right.
I was a little intimidated, to be honest, with the dialogue for a minute because I was like, whoa, this is like an instruction manual, D7, Starfleet, all this stuff. So I was like, I bet I got to watch this thing. And so I watched it, and I was really, really impressed. It's a beautiful film, and it's just
Thank you.
really got me like super excited. So I would, like, when I was getting ready, I would have it playing in the background just so I could hear
Oh, that's a good idea.
Hear the world. Yeah. I watched it, and then I would just play it so that I could hear the world. I love the music. Whoever did the score is amazing.
Alex Bornstein,
yes.
Amazing
Shout
score.
out to you, because your score helped me a lot, actually.
Oh, that's great.
Music is really one of the things that helps me a lot, and so it just kind of depends. For the audition, I watched Prelude, and then I would listen to it and things like that, and then I do a lot of meditation stuff as well as an actor, just to get myself like nice and dropped in and present. And then this is funny and kind of weird for the callback. So in the hallway, there's this portrait of John Lennon,
at that place.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I was sitting across from him. Fun fact: my little brother's name is Lennon.
That's
But I
easy.
was looking up at the painting, and John Lennon has this otherness to him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and the way that he
Yeah.
was painted, in particular the way his eyes were painted, I was like, oh, there's another one, right? So I kind of really focused on his face. This sounds so crazy. Actors are weird. But I sort of, nobody else was in the hallway with me, so I sort of ran my lines with John Lennon, with that painting of John Lennon,
That's
which was
interesting.
really interesting. But it actually sort of zeroed me in a way, because he had that sense of otherness. So it was like, I don't know, it just
Well,
helped.
but I totally get that, because the big change in my acting came after Howard Fine. Like Howard Fine I took his introductory class, which was fantastic, but I never got it. And then I started working with Richard Hatch, who was one of my dear friends, and with Ted. And between the two of them, I made that leap from acting is what you think, how you think you should act, which is not acting.
No, that's not acting.
To
That's-
acting
that's
is,
terrible
as
acting.
Howard always says, always dredging up all that shit, right? Right? You know, Howard Fine, who is one of the top 3 acting coaches in Hollywood, he's Bradley Cooper's acting coach, he's Chris Pine's acting coach, amongst others. Howard always says acting costs you. So unless you understand what that means, unless you go through it and you realize, like, you know, it's something as well, let's use, for example, crying on screen.
Sure.
You know, I hadn't cried for 35 years, I think,
wow.
since my dog died.
No.
And that was so hard. And it wasn't until I was in Richard's class and Richard taught me how to get in contact with things that would put you where you needed to be.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, because one of the things I do, I also coach actors as well.
Come here,
mostly,
Crystal.
like- hi, Crystal.
Crystal's part. You
Like,
can come in. You're part of the production.
But one thing that I've found is that, you know, it has to come from a place of truth. You have to find the truth in it, right?
Yep.
I love this, like, welcome to the spaceship.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's always got to come from you. There's always got to be an element
Yes.
of truth in it. So
Yes.
you just take yourself and you put yourself in the situation, then you layer all the other things on top of it.
Yes.
But if there's not truth in there, then the audience feels manipulated and lied to, and it's not fair to anybody, because they're paying money or they're spending their time to see people at volatile, vulnerable points in their lives
Right.
collide, basically. Right.
And you can always tell when
Yeah.
it's not true.
Oh, you can. You totally can.
You totally, yeah.
You can,
And
I think it does cost you in a way, because your body, like, I did a short recently where I did have to cry a lot. It was a very emotional piece, and I would come home feeling like a truck hit me, you know, because your body, you're still having those real emotions. You're still pulling real emotions out, and they're relevant to this, like, reality you've created for the time that you're filming.
Yeah.
You know, and so you still feel wiped out by them. You feel gutted by them. You feel all those
And that's what
things.
Howard
Yeah.
talks about in acting costs you, because it really happens to you.
does, yeah.
So I remember when Richard would want us to do shit. I'm like, oh, dude, I have to do that. Do I have to dredge that shit up, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, he wants you to go places, but you got to do it. And,
You have
and
to,
that's the
yeah.
only way, and you have to do it over and over. And that is ultimately what I saw when we were working with Kate Vernon, who was Sonia in Prelude, who's the daughter of John Vernon, who was Dean Warmer in Animal House, if you ever saw that. But Kate was great in that it was all, and Kate and I talked about it, and for Kate, it was all right below the surface.
Yeah.
And she said, you just get to a point where everything's right below the surface,
Yeah, it's
and you
true.
just can access it like this. And I was like, but, you know,
true,
she's
though.
been doing it for 40 years.
It's true, though. I mean, I think that's definitely true, that you know, most actors are sensitive people, right? You know, and there is that level of, okay, I'm just going to open the door a crack, you know, and see what happens, and the you know, being present with whoever's in the scene with you, without any preconceived notions, without a preconceived performance,
Right.
You know, and that's what for the audition and the callback, you know, that we did, that was kind of what I did, is I just cleared my mind and really took in the feedback from you and from Paul, and just was really present with her, with Corax in that moment, and just kind of moved with you guys just to see what would happen, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'll point out that Crystal did a great read of. Did you read Corax or Kessel?
Castle.
Kessel.
No, not Corax.
So Kessel is, you'll see in the film, Kessel is someone suffering from a little PTSD. And so Crystal did a great job reading for Kessel. And then Brianna, who's our costume coordinator and helped us in audition, she did a reading. And I almost didn't remember it because I think I was talking online to someone at the time when she went because she was kind of filling in. And then afterwards, Paul was like, wow, Brianna did a really good job. And I was like, oh, really? And I had to watch her on film. And when I watched her on film, I was like, yeah, she did a good. So we're surrounded by good actors, actresses. And Crystal and Brianna are both going to be in Axanar in different roles. Oh, we have some great stuff planned too.
I'm excited.
I'm trying to figure out if I should paint Crystal blue, make her an Andorian.
They already voted on this.
There's super secret roles that Crystal and my best friend from acting class, Paloma, want. I took Howard's class in 2012. We made Prelude in 2014.
Okay.
So in 2012, I was just a guy taking an acting class. And one of my friends, Paloma, who Crystal knows as well, is one of our best friends from LA. She's hysterical. She's this Mexican, crazy Mexican, the heir to Charo. She's hysterical.
Her words, not ours.
Yeah.
No, he's not making that up. That's what she calls herself. That's how she introduced
Does
herself.
she?
That's how she introduced herself to you, pretty much.
Yeah. She's crazy. Anyway, she's always been wanting to be in, and she's like, I don't need to speak. I just need to be in the background. I just want to be an alien.
She'll be speaking.
So yeah, we'll get it. She was just in Lucifer, as a matter of fact.
Oh, fun.
Have you seen it? Yeah. She had a speaking
It's
role
on
in
my
that.
list of like shows.
Oh, it's a great show. I love that show. That's one of those light, fun shows you just watch because it's just both. So, okay, so yes, I got to get you the full script so you can start learning about your character, and then we need to, I'm sure Paul will, but you and I'll sit down and talk about it. We can read through the lines because they've got right in the beginning there's an important scene between Garth and Corax, and it deals not so much with the relationship, but really it deals with Corax's relationship with the crew, which is strained, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm so excited. I'm. It's fun to be at that place of like on the brink of all this cool stuff. You know?
Well, let's say we were there today. So it was Paul and Chris, the
Chicago
producer.
Chris.
Not Chicago Chris. No, this is Chris, our producer, and then one of Paul's friends is coming to help out. Scott, and then Dana, who has been finishing this amazing bridge you're seeing here. So we were all at the studio today, and the space next door, just kind of getting the lay of the land and doing shots and planning shots and stuff. And afterwards, Paul called me up and we were just doing bookkeeping. And he said, "Alec, I got two things to tell you." He said, "The first thing is, this is going to be awesome." He was so excited. He said, I don't know if you realize how awesome the team is that you put together. And I go, no, I get that. I said, I know it's going to be awesome because we have such great people working on it. Mm-hmm. And it's just getting people who know what they're doing, who are fans, who love this stuff. And it's just, it's easy. So I think I'm excited for the weekend because, I'm now that I'm not, so I was supposed to do Saturday, do my lines on Saturday. We're moving to me to a separate weekend just because then I get freed up to do everything. There's so much other stuff, producing to do. I'm still producing. And Crystal is helping out. And we have Brianna here. Crystal is in charge of all the talent. So she'll be coordinating you along with all the other actors and also all the volunteers. So, awesome. It's important to have people who can manage. And it was funny. So I told Paul was like, look, who's going to be managing all those volunteers? And I said, Crystal, unless you want someone else. He goes, oh, no. Crystal will be perfect. She's not going to take their bullshit. So Crystal is going to manage all the volunteers because we got like 30 volunteers helping out. And then, but it's working out well because the building next door to our building is vacant and our landlord is letting us use it for free. So we have like 6,000 square feet for dressing rooms and right after this, the reason she's here is because we're going over here to try on her costume and see how much what we have to do if we can take it in because you're so small, or if we have to get Claude Dozier to make an entirely new one in Italy and FedEx it over. So anyway, that's it.
I mean, I could go to Italy to get it.
Yeah.
Not in the budget.
Yeah. Sorry, not in the budget. Unless you're going to fit in a FedEx envelope.
No, not that tiny.
So let's listen. We haven't been able to keep up on all of your questions and everything.
Did you
get all
there
the-
are lots of questions.
Did you get all the wonderful people who sent us money?
Let's see who's the last one to send us. Michael Weir. Michael Weir sent us a $20 super chat. Michael, I'll pay $20 for you two to tell me if she is the same shifter that trains Garth in TOS. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Right?
He knows all this stuff.
But there's a reason. There's a
reason.
She's Antosian.
Yes.
Corax is Antosian. So you can fill in the rest, Michael. There's a connection there. When Garth gets injured, there's a reason he goes to Antos for Corax, right? So and then there's another. By the way, we've talked about the Heroes vignette, and we will get that one finished as well. And because there's a scene that has to take place at Starfleet headquarters on that. So anyway, we'll talk more about that. Let's just see real quickly if anyone had any questions for you. A lot of time they just talk amongst themselves. Let's see. Anyone have a question? I'm just looking back.
Or resubmit if you have a question now.
Yeah, or if you have a question now.
Yeah,
I'll answer your questions. Ask me questions.
Oh, Trey thinks you're very cute. Okay.
Aw, thanks, Trey.
He also says welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you.
That English gent.
It's Paul.
That English gent says, "Dear
Oh.
God, please
Paul
stop
is
that."
also the English Jew.
Okay, I'll stop doing that. I'm sorry. I watch your countryman John Oliver too much. That's the problem,
get
right?
excited
John
when I
Oliver,
get into that.
right?
Yeah, it's probably loud, though,
We love
isn't
John. By the way, huge John Oliver fans. There you go.
Yeah, if you want to know something, ask it now.
Yeah. What? Fan fiction contest. We won't have time to deal with that until after the shoot. Sorry about that, Silver Bullet. Claude is driving. Here's Claude. This is Claude, our costume consultant.
Hi,
there.
Claude.
So, Claude, we're working. We're going to get on this right. He says to say, hey, we are going to get on the costume right after this. Right sublet says, as a volunteer, where you get information about in the mail, in your email. So stay tuned. Shane. Oh, here's Shane, who is adopting the puppy. Our friend Shane from Seattle. She is playing Corax. Okay. Yes. Start coming on time, Shane.
I missed the puppy.
Let's see. Gorgeous eyes, Carrie Ann, says Old Code.
Thank you.
Lynn Marie Panzerino, another regular. Hi, Carrie Ann. Will this be your first sci-fi role?
Actually, yes. Maybe. Yeah.
There you go.
I've done some other stuff, like I was but not sci-fi. I was on Sleepy Hollow on Fox.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which
shot in here in town.
It was shot in Wilmington. It was season 1.
Yeah, they shot a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah.
They converted one of the stores to a diner.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was on season one of Sleepy Hollow. So it's not really sci-fi. I've done a lot of fantasy stuff and period work, but this will be my first sci-fi, so I'm super excited.
All right. Any other questions before we sign off? Because we got to get her back home, and we got to get her in the costume here.
It's after 10 o'clock.
All right. So everyone, listen. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Next Wednesday will be the next Axanar Confidential, because I am going to be in Canada till Wednesday morning. So next Wednesday night will be the next Axanar Confidential. We'll have more news by then. Silver Bullet wants to know, Carrie Ann, ever do the Renaissance Festival?
Oh, of course. I practically live there.
I would have guessed that.
Where else can I get people to call me Milady all the time?
Crystal and I did Crystal, we haven't done one since we came to Georgia, have we?
We have not done the George one.
Oh,
We
you should.
We did the Southern
I used
California
to
one.
work at one, so I'm always trying to drag him. Always trying to drag him.
And we have costumes and all.
Yeah,
Lots
I'm a
of
big,
costumes.
like, medieval, Renaissance, anything fantasy. I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
Oh, wait till you see the costumes we have.
Yeah.
So,
Fairies in space.
Oh, I'm so excited.
oh yeah. We got All right. Listen, that's it for now. So thank you, everyone. Listen, next Wednesday is the next Axanar Confidential. There'll be a new video update up in the next couple days because we shot it on the bridge today. Me and Paul and I, and so check that out. Stay tuned for more information. Indiegogo patches going out. They've started going out. There's more of them are going to be going out over the next few days. So hopefully before next Wednesday, some of you will have your patches. If not, by the time we shoot, everyone should have patches. And they're awesome. You're going to love them. And we gave everyone the veteran patch for free just because you guys have waited so long and we're cool that way. Mm-hmm. And remember, we are producing a full-length audio drama of Axanar along with an illustrated script.
Hey, cool. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't tell you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't announced that yet.
Yeah. You've got like 300 lines.
Yes.
So
I'm ready. Let's do it.
wait till you see the studio we do it in, too. It's in Dana's basement.
I'm super excited.
It's a Lord of the Rings bar. Oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Props and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Shane says you love the patches. I would love an autograph from Michael. Says I would love an autograph from Carrie Ann. Yeah,
Oh,
don't
you're
worry,
sweet.
we'll have all of that for donors and
If
stuff.
anybody wants to follow, I'm on Instagram. It's just Carrie.
Not yet.
No, I'm not.
We can't tell you that.
I can't tell you
We can't
anything.
tell you
Sorry.
that. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. We don't want the stalkers coming after you.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Sorry, I only exist in this spaceship. I'm a hologram.
an alien hologram spy.
Yes.
There you go.
That's my official job title.
Right, we can put that on the resume.
All right, everyone. So, hey, it's been great. We appreciate it. Thanks for Carrie for coming. Thanks for Crystal for all the work she's doing on the show. And thank you all for supporting us as always. We will see you here next Wednesday night, same time, same channel. And until then, as always, can you do this?
I can.
Yes.
I can
Crystal.
do it with both hands,
Crystal,
actually.
come on. There we go. Woohoo. All right. Live long and prosper, everyone. We will see you guys next Wednesday night. All
Good
right.
night.
Cheers.
Thanks for